Salve! It's Magister Hodges, and this is for week, I don't even know anymore, 10. We're going to be reading the passage, the adapted passage of the poem known as Catullus II. And I just wanted to help you guys out with this to help you better understand what's going on, because this is when we start getting into the kind of hard stuff, the more legit stuff. I'm also going to show you what the actual poem looks like. I'm going to tell you a little bit about Catullus too. So Catullus is an interesting poet. He lived around the time of Julius Caesar and Cicero, like in the late Roman Republic when everything was falling apart. But he did not worry so much about those types of things. He was the classic, I guess you could say the classical version of that kid with the long dyed black hair who wears the, weird shirts with the pens on them. In short, he was kind of the original emo kid. Maybe not the original, but he was one of the early emo kids. He wrote often about unrequited love. He often wrote about to this somewhat fictitious woman that he refers to as Lesbia, meaning that she comes from the island of Lesbos, not that she likes other women. But throughout, he wrote hundreds of poems, and many of them kind of chronicle this very tumultuous relationship. You'll see that this one is de amore, it's about love or on love. And early on, this is Catullus II. That means it was the second poem in his book. They didn't really give poems titles, so we know these poems by the name of the author and then the number in which they occur in the books that they published. So this is Catullus II, second poem in the book. And as you can see, Deliciae meae puellae, the love of my love's, the sweetness of my love, meaning, well, this is a story about her pet sparrow. And it's kind of up and down. It's always like, I love you, Lesbia. I hate you, Lesbia. Why don't you love me, Lesbia? Why don't I love you, Lesbia? Like, it's all very, very relatable, honestly, if you've been in a relationship in middle school and high school. If you haven't, congratulations on dodging those bullets. Either way, Catullus is very interesting, and hopefully we see him again later in the year. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to read this poem out loud in Latin so you can hear it, or well, this adaptation of the poem out loud in Latin. And then I'm going to just kind of walk through how it's translated and kind of show you what I highlighted here to help you guys out with these new things. So I'm going to move my head down here for now, and I'm going to read this out loud, and then we'll translate. De amore. Puella mea passerem habet. O passer, deliciae meae puellae, cum passere puella mea ludit, passerem tenet, passeri digitum dat, digitus a passere modetur. Puella narat se passerem amare, puella passerem plus quam oculos amat. Nam passer est melitus. Catullus videt passerem esse semper in gremio puellae. Passer ad dominam semper pipiat, Catullus tamen, volt cum puella esse, et a puella amari. Itaque Catullus passeri invidet, tu puella Catullam amare debes, non passerem. Senes autem severi, putant puellam Catullam amare non debere. Verba senum puella, unius assis aestimare possumus, nam vita non est longa. So there's the poem. Let me help you break it down. I highlighted in green the indirect statements, and I highlighted in yellow the passive verbs, with a little bit of help down here at the bottom about how they'll be translated. So to review last week, indirect statements are things that we say when we're saying what someone said or what someone saw without quoting it directly. So it'll be like, so for example, we have puella narat se passerem amare. The girl tells that she loves the sparrow. Okay, that's how it works. The subject, puella, narat, head verb, which is the conjugated head verb. The accusative subject and the infinitive verb. So everything in this second part of the sentence is your indirect statement. Say just means she, referring back to puella. If you see say, it's just going to mean he, she, or it, depending on whatever the original subject was. The second accusative will be the direct object, the thing receiving the action, and then you have your infinitive verb over here, which on its own would mean to love, but since it's a part of an indirect statement coming after the verb narat. It's going to mean love. So the girl tells that she loves the sparrow. In yellow, you will see passive verbs. For example, mordetur. Mordit means to chew or to bite. So mordetur means is being chewed or is being bitten. You may also see something like amare down here that looks like amare, which on its own with an E would mean to love. But amare is what we call the passive infinitive, and that is how we translate it, to be loved. So let me start at the beginning and we'll go from there. So, puella mea passerem habet. My girl has a sparrow. Oh, sparrow, the heart, like the sweetheart of my girl. My girl plays with the sparrow. She holds the sparrow. She gives her finger to the sparrow. The finger is chewed on by the sparrow. It's very weird. Like I said, he's a poet. The girl tells that she loves the sparrow. The girl loves the sparrow more than eyes. For the sparrow is sweet like honey. Melitus comes from honey, meaning like sweet like honey. Catullus videt passerem esse semper in gremio puellae. Another indirect statement here. The first part, Catullus videt, Catullus sees, and then our indirect statement begins after the head verb. Catullus sees that the sparrow is always in the lap of the girl. The sparrow tweets at, the sparrow always tweets at the mistress, talking about the girl. Catullus, however, and really this would be like, however, Catullus wants to be with the girl and to be loved by the girl. And so Catullus envies the sparrow. Could be hates the sparrow too. You, girl, should love Catullus, not the sparrow. However, severe old men think, and here comes our indirect statement, think that the girl ought not to love Catullus. The words of old men, girl, we are able to value at one ass. Now, I should probably explain what that is. An assis was like the Roman equivalent of a penny. He's basically saying we are able to estimate this as one penny. It just is what it is. And they called it an ass. So, I'm not cussing at you. I'm just telling you about money. For life is not long. Oops, sorry about that. So that's the poem right there. You can stop it here if that was all you needed. If you're interested to see what it actually looked like, hang on here. So here's the real one. Here's the real translation, and here's the actual Latin. Let me put myself up here now. And for those of you still interested and still hanging around, all two of you, thank you. Here's the original Latin. I'll read it out loud for you as best I can. Passer deliciae meae puellae, qui cum ludere, quem in sinu tenere, cui primum digitum dare appetenti, et ac risolet incitare mossus, cum desiderio meo nitenti, carum nescio quid lubet iocari, et solaciolum sui doloris, credo ut tum gravis acquiescat ardor, te cum ludere sicut ipsa possem, et tristis animi levare curas. Songbird, my sweetheart's delight, she often plays with you, has you in her lap, giving her index fingertip to you, teasing you to make sharp nips. And when my shining object of love is pleased to play by some unknown dear reason, in a small comfort from pain, I think it so her love may then subside, if only I could play with you as she does, and relieve my soul's sad torments. You see, the adaptation we got was actually pretty different. They actually kind of mashed two poems together, another one known as Catullus 5, where he talks about wanting to kiss the girl like 4,900 times or something. It's really weird. Apparently at work, dude had a bunch of girlfriends. I don't understand. Either way, creeps are eternal. Emo kids are eternal. That's Catullus too. I hope you guys have a great day.